All right, next week we got a big fight coming up. Pretty interesting fight. IBF heavyweight champion Charles Martin versus UK's most promising upstart Anthony Joshua. Now, a lot of us are basing our opinion on Charles Martin off of virtually just one fight. We haven't really seen a lot of this guy. But I want to break this fight down, so I'm going to go with the little information that I do have about Charles Martin and what I saw in his last fight against Vladislav Glaskov. Now, what I saw in that fight, as short as it was and as unfortunate as it was for Glaskov blowing out his knee, I saw a very methodical fighter in Charles Martin. A cagey southpaw who definitely likes to work behind the jab, likes to measure his opponent, and likes to fight at a distance. And he seemed to be pretty much a counterpuncher in that fight. And he was looking to catch Glaskov coming in with the sneaky left hand after kind of lining him up with the right jab and keeping him at a distance and pretty much controlling the fight from the outside and not letting Glaskov get close. And when he did inch forward, he was caught either with the right jab or a counter left hand. There wasn't a lot of punches thrown in that fight, and there wasn't a lot of clean shots landed in that fight. But we did see, or at least I saw, the type of fight that Martin wanted to fight, and I'm going to base my opinion off of that because that's all I have. We all know Anthony Joshua, very athletic heavyweight, very explosive heavyweight. He's a guy who doesn't really throw a ton of jabs, but he can box when he wants to box. But I see him as being most dangerous in the mid-range. And he's able to throw that vicious right uppercut on the inside. He could throw an uppercut with both hands up close. And, every one of his punches has bad intentions on it. He's a very heavy-handed guy. So the big question in this fight is, will he empty out the clip too early in this fight? Will he let it all hang out too early in this fight and blow his wad early against a guy who's going to try and fight a slower pace fight, a guy who's going to try and fight the fight at his pace and not get into an all-out shootout with Anthony Joshua? Because if he does do that, it's going to be an early night for him. Because definitely Anthony Joshua is the heavier hitter in this fight. So the big thing for Charles Martin is to be the counterpuncher, to catch Anthony Joshua being a little reckless, getting a little overly aggressive. He's going to have to set traps. He's going to have to set traps. He's going to have to slow this fight down, and he's going to have to keep it on the outside, because if you allow Anthony Joshua to get up close in that mid-range area in his wheelhouse, that's when he unloads. He reminds me a little bit of David Haye, the type of fighter he is. He likes to take risks offensively. He likes to go in there and lead with explosive power shots, particularly the left hook. He throws a hellacious left hook, and he leaps in with it a lot of times. And again, at some point, he's going to have to start settling down and setting these shots up as the competition gets better in his career. Because he's not going to be able to just walk through guys like he did Dillian Whyte. And we saw how Dillian Whyte had some moments in that fight because Anthony Joshua was a little bit overzealous in there, a little bit overly aggressive. But at the end of the day, if Anthony Joshua lands something clean, he can get anyone out of there. He reminds me a lot of David Haye in that regard in terms of the offensive style that he has, taken risks. So this fight is very intriguing for another reason, because Anthony Joshua's never fought a southpaw in his pro career. Last time he fought a southpaw was in the Olympics. So that's going to be a different look for him as a professional, and it's been a while. He hasn't fought a southpaw since 2012. So how is this fight going to play out? Well, I don't think Charles Martin is going to be able to slow down the pace of this fight. I think that Anthony Joshua is going to be able to take it to him. I think he's going to walk through that jab. I have a feeling he's going to be able to walk through that right jab. He's going to get inside. He's going to be able to land power shots. And when he does land, he's going to take the wind out of Charles Martin's sails. He's not going to be able to keep Anthony Joshua off of him. I think there's a big disparity in speed in this fight. I think there's a big disparity in power in this fight. So I think Anthony Joshua is going to be able to walk Charles Martin down. I think he's going to be able to trap him on the ropes pretty much like he did Dillian White. And I see him landing a big left hook or a big right uppercut that's going to start the beginning of the end for a game Charles Martin, but I just don't think he's going to be able to stand up to that power. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So I'm going to predict a mid-round stoppage in this fight, somewhere around the 6th, 7th, 8th round. I think Anthony Joshua is going to become another heavyweight champion in the UK and just add another belt to that tally of UK champions. All right, guys, till next time, I'm really looking forward to this fight. This is gonna be a barn burner for as long as it lasts. I think we're gonna see a very, very explosive Anthony Joshua. I think he's gonna make a statement in this fight, and I think he's gonna take it home. All right, guys, till next time, peace.